There's people making hundreds of thousands of dollars with blogging websites, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to completely get on your feet and start blogging so that you guys can do the same. I want to make this simple for you, so I'm going to break this video down into two parts. First, I'm going to show you guys how to build a professional blogging website from the ground up. And second, I'm going to show you everything you'll need to write a winning blog post. I'm going to show you all the tools that I use to create stunning websites and customize them to your liking. I'm also going to show you guys how to come up with blog niche ideas and how to brainstorm new topics underneath that niche. I'll even show you how to write captivating blog posts in minutes using AI tools. And then I'm going to show you step by step how to post them onto your website. This is going to be your one-stop shop for getting your blog started, so make sure you watch till the end. You're going to be getting all of the necessary information plus some bonus tips in the shortest amount of time. Let's get moving. The very first step is going to be getting a domain name and web hosting for our blog. If you want to build a website, you have to get a domain name and web hosting. Plain and simple. A website literally doesn't exist if it doesn't have a domain name or web hosting. A domain name is just the address to your website. So it's what people will enter into the search bar to find your site. So something like yourwebsite.com. And web hosting, on the other hand, is just renting space on a server that's connected to the internet. Web hosting companies exist all over the world, and they have buildings full of these servers. You can sign up for a plan and rent space on one of those servers to have your website accessible online. It's pretty similar to signing up with a phone provider. The domain name is like your phone number, and web hosting is like getting service with Verizon or T-Mobile or something like that. If you don't pay your phone bill, you can't call anyone. There's tons of hosting providers out there, but we always recommend Hostinger on this channel because, in our opinion, they're the absolute best. They seriously provide the most affordable hosting for what they actually provide, and their customer service is top-notch as well. If you want to sign up for web hosting today and get a custom domain name to build your website so that you can follow along with this tutorial, click on the first link down in the description, or you can go to createaprowebsite.com/hostinger, and it'll take you to a special co-branded landing page that we have with them. Now, this affiliate link compensates us for making the video, but it also provides you with an absolute massive discount on your web hosting plan. I think it takes off like $100 or something from your bill. So in order to see that discount, we're going to go from this main page here, scroll on down, and you'll see the three different hosting plans that we have available. We've got the single, the premium, and the business plan, but I'm going to cut to the chase and tell you guys that I always recommend the premium web hosting plan. It's the same premium hosting plan that I recommend for every single video that I have on this channel, so you guys probably get tired of me saying it, but you get 100 websites with this plan, you get a free email, an unlimited free SSL certificate, a free domain name, which is a $9.99 value and things like that, unmetered bandwidth. For all the things that you get, it's a really affordable price, so this is the one I'm going to go with. Next, you get to choose your period for how often you get charged. I'm going to go ahead and go with the 12 months right here, and you'll see that it's going to save you $108 off of your plan. So that's what I was talking about. You'll see that you're getting it for $269 a month instead of $11.99 per month. So we'll scroll on down here, and we're going to go ahead and create our account with Hostinger, and then we can enter in all of our billing information, which is down below. And then as you can see, for the billing information, we've gone down from $143 all the way down to $35 right there. We're also getting the domain name for free, which would be an additional $10, and the setup for free, which is another $5 or $4.99. They also have all of the different payment methods that you'll probably need, so credit card, PayPal, Google Pay, and then the others as well. I'm going to use credit card. I'm going to put in my credit card information here, and then I'm going to hit secure payment checkout right here. But what I want to make really clear is double check that your coupon code says create a pro website. If you went to the link createaprowebsite.com/hostinger, this should already be applied automatically, but just in case it isn't, this is what's getting you that massive discount from $143 all the way down to $32 total. It looks like it's taking off $111.59. That's what I'm talking about, guys. So I'll see you guys in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and enter in my credit card information. Next, what I'm going to do is click on Start Now, and it's going to ask if I want to create a website or migrate one, and so I'm creating a new website from scratch, but if you already have a domain name, you can use the Migrate My Website and select it right here. From here, it's going to ask to select a platform, which I'm going to be using WordPress, so we'll click on Select right here. Next, we're going to create our admin account for WordPress, and so it's going to use your administrator email that you use to create an account with Hostinger, and then we're going to create a password as well. This is really important to remember because this is how you're going to log into your website every single time to make changes to it in the back end. So make sure you remember this password. If you have to write it down, do so. All right, from here, we get to choose if we want to add any plugins before we get into the website, but I'm going to show you guys how to download everything you need, so we're going to go ahead and skip this step. It's also going to ask if you want to use a different theme or a template here, which again, I'm going to say skip. I don't need a template. And now we get to claim the free domain name, as you can see, the free domain name that we have with our hosting or plan that we chose, which is that premium hosting plan. So that's pretty sweet. I'm going to click on select right here. And now we can choose our domain name by searching different topics here and clicking search, and it'll tell us if it's available. Now over here, you get to choose what you're going to have behind your domain name. So right now I'm going to select .com because it's the most common and when people are looking for a website, and it also just looks professional. But you guys can select whichever domain you want. Obviously there's a ton of them that you can have, but I'm going to choose a .com. And then from here I can try typing something out. We're going to try CAPW Tech Blog because this is going to be a tech blog and it's Create a Pro website. So let's give it a shot. We'll click on search and it looks like my domain name is available. So we're good to go. I'm going to click on continue and then I'm going to finish the setup and finish my registration. All right, and then after waiting for your website to load, you'll see that it says right here, well done, you are ready to go. So from here, we're going to click on edit your website. And it should immediately take you to your WordPress dashboard. And if it takes you to a page that looks like this, it basically is just editing a post. And so to get to your WordPress dashboard, we're going to click on the little W up here in the top left corner, and then you can click on dashboard right here. And now we're inside of our WordPress dashboard and we can start making changes to the website. All right, friends, we have our domain name and web hosting all set up. We also have WordPress installed onto our website, and WordPress being the amazing, widely used blogging content management system. Now with all of that done, it's time to build the site, but don't worry, we're going to download a complete website template to save us a massive amount of time on the building process. From your WordPress dashboard, we're just going to hover our mouse over the plugins tab and then click on add new. From here, we can use the search bar to look for a plugin called Starter Templates. For those of you who are new, plugins are basically the same thing as apps on your smartphone, but for your website. Now I'm going to install and activate Starter Templates. After this, select Elementor because this is the page builder we're going to be using. This is the library where we can choose whichever template you think looks best. You can either follow along with me and choose the same template that I do, or you can pause the video, browse through the entire library, and choose a template that you think is right for you. You'll notice that at the top, they have filters for different industries or uses that you might have when you're looking for a website. What I'm going to do is select the blog filter for obvious reasons and see what they have available. I think this template is perfect for what I'm trying to do. Once you click your chosen template, you get a preview on the right as well as the settings tab on the left. If you already have a logo that you've built for your business, you can go ahead and upload it now. But I'm going to show you guys how to build your own logo for free without having to download any software later on in the video. For now, I'm going to hit skip and continue. Next, we get to choose the color palette for the website, as well as the font combo. And you can play around with these if you want, but I'm going to stick to the default. When you're all done, just make sure that all of the checkboxes are checked except for this one, and then click on Submit and Build. After a minute or two, you'll have a downloaded template ready to go. This is the last thing that we have to do inside of part 1 of the video. We've already laid the groundwork, and all we have to do now is customize the site to our liking, using our own pictures and text. Now, I'm going to show you where you can get free images online from a website called unsplash.com to fill out your website if you don't already have pictures to use. On top of that, we're going to use a hybrid of dummy text as well as ChatGPT to fill out the rest of the website text content. To make all these customization changes, we're also going to be using a super easy drag and drop page builder plugin called Elementor. Let's go ahead and get started. So from our website preview that we were just looking at, we're actually going to go up here to this top black admin bar or the ribbon, and you'll see Edit with Elementor right here. That's what we're going to click on. If you don't see that ribbon, you can always go back to your WordPress dashboard and you can go over to the Pages tab like this, and I'll open it up on a new tab. And then you can hover over the home page and click on Edit with Elementor right here. All right, so now we are inside of Elementor. I'm going to close out of this Navigator tab because we don't need it. Over on the right-hand side, you've got a preview of your website, and you'll see that all of these different squares and things keep hovering and popping up as I move my mouse over the website. Over here on the left-hand side, we've got all of our widgets. And this is also the menu where we edit things. For instance, if I click on this header section right here, and I click on the title, you'll see that now I'm editing what is called an image box, but that's because there's no image here. And it looks like the template is using it as a title and description right here. As you can see, we are Creative 80, and it's right there. And so if I put another 8 up there just for showing you guys, you'll see that I'm literally typing right there on screen. And then this is the dummy text that's right below it right here. But you'll see that anytime I click on anything, the menu to edit it will be on the left and the preview is on the right. Pretty simple. Now we've got the background, which is always highlighted by this blue square every time I move my mouse over it. And this is called a section. So the background is essentially called a section. Inside of a section, we can put columns, which is this gray dotted line box right here. And you'll see that there's one column right here and two columns right here. And then inside of columns, we can put a widget, which inside of this column is an image widget. So as you can see, the blue box pops up. And if I click on it, you'll see that I'm actually editing the image widget. So inside of this column is a blue widget. And then over here, inside of this column, you'll see that there's multiple widgets. You see how there's a widget right here, a button, text, and more text. So that's kind of how Elementor works. You've got sections. Inside of those, you can have columns. And then inside of those, you can have widgets. And a good way to remember the difference between a column and a widget is that columns can stack horizontally. So if I add another column, you'll see that it only stacks horizontally. I can't put a column underneath another column. And if I delete this, you'll see that widgets only stack vertically like this. And so you have to have a second column to put something on the right side. Does that make sense? That's a bit of how Elementor works. And so you'll learn a little bit more of how it works as I actually customize the website. So we can get started by first changing the image right here and then also the text. Because that's essentially what you're going to be doing. We've got a full customized templates at our fingertips here. So instead of having to create this entire section from scratch, all I have to do is put my picture right here, my own text right here, and we're good to go. So let's do that now. I'm going to click on the image, and it's going to ask, hey, here's the image. Do you want to change it? All you got to do to change the image is click on it over here. We've got a media library, which is local on your website, like downloaded on your website, and then you can upload files from your computer. So what I'm going to do is upload some files. Off camera, I went ahead and went over to unsplash.com. If you guys remember, I just talked about it a second ago. And I went through here and I just searched for gaming images, just like this. And I found a whole bunch of images of people gaming and computers and things like that. There's Call of Duty Warzone right there. And so I just downloaded a bunch of these, and you can use them completely for free. You just click on it like this, and then you can download it, or you can choose what resolution size you want. And so I chose medium because it's just like a 1080p basically image. It's 1920 by almost 1080, but you get what I mean. And so off camera, I went ahead and downloaded a couple of them. So I'm going to select files from my computer, and we'll go over here to my desktop, and I've got my images right here, and you'll see I've got a ton of them. And so I'm just going to highlight all of them, except for this folder, obviously, and I'm going to open. And it's going to take a second for them to all upload, so I'll give it a minute. All right, so once our images are all uploaded, I'm going to use this one of this guy wearing VR right here, and I'm going to go ahead and insert it into my website just like this. So I think it looks pretty cool, just like that. And then from here, I'm going to go over to the left-hand side and click on Update to save my work. Now this green update button basically takes all the changes you just made and publishes it live onto your website and also saves your work. And you'll notice that throughout the video, I click on this button a lot just to make sure that my work is saved, just in case for some reason you get disconnected or something like that. So now we have our image right here on the home page, so you guys know how to upload your own image onto the website. Next, we're going to change the text over here. And so you can click on it and literally type directly on screen. You'll see that my cursor is over here, so that's pretty cool. Or you can type over here in this box as well. It's basically the same thing. So what we can do is change this. So instead of we are area, or that's totally a typo, but we are Creative 80, we can type out our own title. So something like this. So we are CAPW Tech Blog, something like that. And we've got right here, help and support the creative community. I'm just going to leave that there, but you guys know that if you want to change that, all you have to do is literally type on screen to say whatever you want. After this, we can continue to edit this section, and we can change out the dummy text down below as well by literally just typing right here, and you'll see that it pops up on your website. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and write out content for the entire website. Obviously, this is just to show you guys how to get your website up and running and how to put your own text in here. So you might want to have like a little snippet about your tech blog or whatever you want to say. Something like, we are CAPW Tech Blog and we do so-and-so, blah, 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 whatever you want. So that's how you can change the text over here. If you want to change this button, it's really easy. You just click on it or anywhere inside of this blue rectangle, which is basically editing the button, as you can see over here on the left-hand side. And there's usually only two things we're going to do to a button. We're going to change the text and we're going to change the link. Because when we downloaded this template, all of the buttons are automatically coded to use the same color. So there's really no reason to change the color because it's going to match throughout the entire website, as you can see. They all go from blue to black, which is pretty cool. So there's really only two things we're ever going to change. And again, that's the name, which says read articles, which I'm going to go ahead and leave. And then you also have the link right here. And so if I were to put a link, like a URL right here, anytime someone clicks on this button, it's going to take them to that page. So for instance, if I put YouTube, just like this, and I clicked update to save my work. And then I preview my changes, which is this little button right next to the update button. It's going to open up my website on a new tab. If I click on this button, it's going to take me to YouTube, just like that. So as you can see, whatever link you put here is where you're going to take your visitor when they click on this button. So for now, what we're going to do is leave this blank. So I'll close out of that and I'll just put that hashtag symbol again, because the hashtag is basically a placeholder for this right now. But sooner or later, we're going to actually put a link to one of the blog pages right here. So read articles. And so we'll link that up in just a little bit. Now, the point of this video is just to show you guys how to put your content onto this website so that you can use it and you don't have to start from scratch, right? If I wanted to show you guys how to use Elementor, how to use all the ins and outs of WordPress and all of that, it would take way too long. So if you guys want to go check out any of my other tutorials on how to use Elementor specifically, you can. So we're going to stick pretty strictly to this template. Like, I'm not really going to change the background colors. I'm not going to get too crazy here. But if you guys, again, want to learn about that, you can go over to one of those other Elementor tutorials. But this is to teach you how to set up a blog. So we're going to stick to the script here, or not the script, but you guys know what I mean, the template, and we'll move on. So right here, we've got a subscribe to our newsletter, which is pretty cool. You would obviously want to click here and change out this dummy text to say something else like, we post weekly and keep you up to date on all the newest trends, or something like that. So you'd obviously change the text out here. This right here is actually a contact form. So if I click on this button right here, the little pencil icon to edit this widget, you'll see that it literally says edit WP forms. And that's a widget using a plugin that's built into our website. And so if I go back to the dashboard over here, you guys don't have to go with me. You'll see that right over here, WP Forms is a widget. And so this is how you can put contact forms, subscription forms, everything onto your website so that when they put information into that form, it emails it to you. So that's what this is right here. You don't really have too much customization control over it. You basically can just put it in there and you can decide what fields and things you want in there. And again, we're not really going to change it around. I just wanted to show you guys that that's what it is. So now we can scroll on down a little bit further. The one thing I am going to remove is this section right here. It looks like the person who created this template wanted it to look like there's an ad here. If you click on it, all it is an image. And if you click on the image, you'll see that they literally just must have photoshopped this together and put it into the website, which personally, there's just no reason for having this in here. It's just dummy logo content, essentially. So I'm just going to right click and say delete. And that'll bring my popular categories section up a little bit. So right after subscription, the next thing they see is popular categories. And so this we're actually going to change. We're going to change this to real categories that we're using for our blog, right? And so my blog is a gaming tech blog. So what I'm going to do is set up 4 different categories here. And you guys can have as many as you want, of course. And you would just have this set up to go to a blog category page with this button. I'm just going to set up 4. And so the first one, I'm just going to click here. And again, you can literally type on screen or you can type in this box over here. So this one's going to be gameplay, right? And then this one is going to be new releases. And then this is going to say software or hardware. Let's do hardware first. And then this one will say software. Perfect. And now I need to actually edit the images in the background to match what is actually being said on the text, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is edit the column right here by clicking on the gray little box right here. Because anytime I hover over a column, it pops up. And so if I want to edit the column, I have to click on the actual column button, right? So let's go ahead and click on that gray column box right here. And I'm editing the column. I'm going to go over to the style tab and I can change the image background right here. So let's click on it and we can choose from inside of our media library because we obviously downloaded a whole bunch of images that we can use for our website. And so the first one that I'm going to use is this guy right here. And I actually forgot. I went ahead and just pulled 4 of these images out and I actually cropped them off camera as well, just so that they fit better rather than having a full long image like this. So let me go ahead and upload those real quick. And it's these category images. And so you can see that they're perfect squares. And again, all these images I got from Unsplash, so you guys can get them too if you want to follow along. And then all you would have to do is crop these 4 images if you wanted to use them. But I'm going to use this guy right here and say insert media, and you'll see that it perfectly just crops it into that little rectangle. Looks really good. Next, we'll do new releases. So we'll click on the gray icon here and go to the style tab, and then we can add an image, and I'm going to use this one. And then you guys get the idea. I'm going to do it for the other 2, so I'll go a little bit faster. Okay, so we've got our popular categories section, gameplay, new releases, hardware, and software. And so if we want to actually link these up to the real categories so that if they click on gameplay, it goes to gameplay, we're going to have to change the text again. So we'll click on it right here and we'll go over here to the link tab, and it's the exact same thing as editing a button right here. If we put a link right here, for instance, if I put YouTube right here, all they have to do is click on this text right here and it will act as a button. So the same thing as clicking on this, and it would take them to this link. So for instance, if I put YouTube right here, they click on this, it'll take them to YouTube. A little bit later on, when we actually set up the categories, we'll come back and actually link these up. But for now, we're going to leave them blank. So these are the 4 different categories that we're going to be using for this blog example. And so we're done here. The exact same thing happens for this button as well. We would click on this button and we need to actually have a link right here, which we don't have yet, to be able to take them to a page that shows all of the different categories if we want. Or if you don't want to have to bother with creating an extra page, you can just delete this, which for this tutorial, I'm actually only going to stick to these 4 categories. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this button by just right-clicking and saying delete. Okay. So now we can move on down to this next section right here, which looks like it's a podcast section, but we don't have a podcast. We're just trying to make a blog. So I'm actually going to completely remove all of this and put in my own stuff. So I'm going to click on this little blue X right here, and it's going to delete this whole intersection, which I'm not even going to try and explain an intersection right now, but we're just going to delete it just like that. So now we've got a title right here, which we're obviously going to have to change in just a second. As well as, okay, so this one says popular categories. So this one can say something like the CAPW Tech Blog timeline. And let's go ahead and actually, we're gonna say copy like this. We're gonna right click and say copy, and then we're gonna right click and say paste the style. And it didn't look like that changed anything, which that's a heading and that's a heading, so that's weird. This one looks like it's different though. So what I might actually do is just go over to the style tab after clicking on this heading right here, and I'll go over to the typography right here, and I'll just increase the weight a little bit. So let's try 700. That seemed like it fixed it a little bit, and then also let's increase the size just a little bit as well. There we go. That looks a little bit better. It kind of matches the same size and thickness of this title. I'm not sure why copy and pasting the size or the style didn't work. Normally that does. Problem solved. Okay. We actually might go down just by a little bit though. It looks a little big. So now to make sure I save, I'm just going to click on update in the bottom left corner. And so now it's time to add 2 more sections to this homepage, but we can't do that until we download another plugin. What I'm going to do is go back to my WordPress dashboard, and I'm going to go to the plugins tab. Now, you'll notice that I like to always open up Dashboard and Elementor and anything else on new tabs so that I can always bounce back to the dashboard if I want to multitask, like what I'm about to do now. So if you didn't do that, the way that you can get out of Elementor and go back to your WordPress dashboard is by clicking on this hamburger icon right here. You'll click on exit right here, and it's going to ask, hey, how do you want to exit? Do you want to go to this post or do you want to go to the dashboard? You'll say WordPress dashboard and click apply. And then it'll take you back to the WordPress dashboard. So let me close out of this tab because now I have 2 dashboards. So what I'm going to do is first open my website up on a new tab by clicking on my actual domain name up here. Obviously I right click and then say open on a new tab and edit with Elementor again, just so that I have both tabs open again. So from here, what we're gonna do is go back to the plugins tab and click on add new, which again, on a new tab. And then I'm gonna go over to the search bar and we're looking for something called essential add-ons for Elementor. Just like this. And you'll see it's the first one that pops up, EA, essential add-ons for Elementor. We're gonna click on install and activate. And then it's going to ask a couple questions. Most of these you can just click next through, but when you get to this one, the Elements tab, make sure that you have PostGrid enabled right here. And then also Post Timeline. So both of these two. And then you can view all the different widgets that you can use. These are all that you can enable all of these if you want to, but you don't really need any of them except for those 2 because that's what we're going to actually be using, the PostGrid and the Post Timeline. So when you're done with that, click on next, and then it's going to ask if you want to upgrade. No. We want to use the free version. Do you want to install another plugin? No. Do you want to install anything else? No. And we'll say no thanks at the very end. Congratulations, we're using the free version. Cool. And then you never have to look at this page again. So we're going to close out of this tab. Back inside of Elementor, now that we've downloaded the plugin, we just have to refresh the page. And what we just did was essentially add an additional like 40 some plugins to Elementor, which is pretty cool. So now we can come back down here. We're going to click on the plus icon right here to add another section. And we'll go over here to a single box, just like this. You can click on this little plus button and it'll open up all of the widgets if you guys remember beforehand. Earlier on in the video, we were looking at this. We'll scroll on down. I'm going to minimize the Pro section because these are all plugins that you have to pay for Elementor Pro version to use. We're not going to use these because I'm trying to do this as cheap as possible. We're using the free version for everything, all right? So we're going to minimize those. But what we did just add was all of these down below. You see how it says EA? That's for essential add-ons because we just downloaded this plugin. And it's really cool because all of these we can use on our website. And so what we're going to do is go up to this little search bar and look for post. And we've got a post grid and a post timeline. And those are the two boxes we checked earlier. So let's put in the post timeline first because I think this one just looks super cool. When you open it up, it's going to automatically pull all of the posts from your website and put them in here for you. So let me go ahead and explain. First of all, to make this easier to understand, we're going to go back to the WordPress dashboard and then we're going to click on posts right here. But again, I'm opening it on a new tab just like this. Now what this is it's showing me a list of all of the individual blog posts that I have on the website so far. And if you guys remember earlier, we downloaded a template. It also comes with fake blog posts, as you can see. If I were to click view on any of these, you'll see that it's got nothing but a bunch of dummy text on here. But it really does look like a real blog post, which is pretty cool. You know, you got this picture right here, a title, who it's written by and all this stuff. You can leave comments and everything. Scroll on down, you've got block quotes, bullet points and everything. Related posts, we've got a comment that we can leave as well. So it comes with a bunch of fake posts. And you guys didn't have to click on that, I just wanted to show you guys. So I wanted to show you guys that all of these are going to automatically be pulled to show right here because we're using a post timeline. So it's just showing a timeline of all of the posts that you have on your website, right? And so as you post more pictures and blog posts, you'll see that it's got this timeline here, which obviously right now I'm making this on February 17th. So the first post is this one, Hello World, at February 17th. This next one has a little arrow right here pointing to July 20th, 2021. So this must have been when the template was created or updated because it looks like July 20, as you can see, is when all of these fake ones were added. So that's kind of interesting. So we'll go back to the post tab here. So I wanted to show you guys that all of these are just dummies that were created with the template. So they don't mean anything. They're just fake posts. We could delete all of these, or we can literally just use them as a template to edit, which that's probably what I'm going to do later on in the video. But for now, what I want to delete is this one, Hello World, because it's the only one that doesn't have a picture, and it's kind of bothering me. So we're going to delete it. Hello World is literally a completely blank post. As you can see, this is it. That's it right there. It's a blank post that comes stock with WordPress, not even with this template. So even if we didn't download the template and we have all these weren't here, this would still be here. So I'm just gonna click on trash and it's gone. I just wanted to show you guys what's being pulled when we use this plugin. So we can close out of this tab now because we just trashed that useless post right there. And what I'm gonna do is click on update to save my work. And then we're going to refresh the page again because we made a change outside of Elementor that's affecting Elementor. So now when you refresh the page and scroll down, you'll see that perfect. It's pulling blog posts that actually have pictures, which just looks a lot nicer, in my opinion. So this is pretty cool. You could say that this is the CAPW tech blog timeline. So if they want to look through the blog based on posts when they were posted, they can see that these are the most prevalent, first posts that came out, right? So these obviously came out first in July. So if you were to post another post today, it would show that today's date right up here with an arrow pointing to this post. So if they want the most recent news, they've got it. What we're going to do next is we can duplicate this heading right here by right-clicking and saying duplicate. We're just going to click on it and drag it down below, just like this. Perfect. And next, what we're going to do is add another section, a single section like this. Click on the plus button. And what we're going to do is search for post again. And we're going to do a post grid this time. Make sure it's the one from Essential Add-ons with the little EA right here. You're going to drag it in just like this, and you'll see that it adds all of these posts that you can look at. I'm going to right-click out here in the open area so that I can edit the section just like this, which if you remember, the section is the background. The only thing I want to do is change the width from boxed, which keeps it boxed in like this. We're going to go full width. It's going to use the full width of the website. And then the only other thing I'm going to do is go over to the Advanced tab. And under padding, we're going to add a little bit of padding on the left and on the right side. That's it. So we're going to unlink the values together. On the right side, let's add 100. And on the left side, let's add 100. And so now you can see there's a little bit of space, a little bit of breathing room on both sides. Let's click on update to save our work. Now, if I were you, I would literally just leave these the way they are. You've got the 4 blog posts that are displaying. Again, it's automatically just pulling from your blog posts. If we just right click anywhere in here and say edit post grid, under the content tab, you'll see that what's the source? It's pulling from your posts. And so you're going to leave it there. You can add different criteria. Like if you want to exclude one of these, like the Miss Film Festival, whatever, the Don't Miss the Film Festival, you can exclude it if you want to. You can choose how many posts per page and all that stuff, but I'm not really going to change it. You can also change how they look if you want to under the style tab. You can change things like the thumbnail style, the meta style, colors, the post grid style, and everything. But again, I'm not going to get too much into that. The whole point of this is just getting you up and running, not creating like the perfect website exactly how you want it, right? You guys are going to have to do a little bit of customizing on your own, play around with some of these, and you can see what they do. Now, what we're going to do is, first of all, change this text right here. So this is the CAPW Tech Blog timeline. This isn't a timeline. These are just kind of the most popular is what we're going to call it. So we'll say top ranked articles, right? So just like that, we've got the top ranked articles section right here. And then above that, we've got the timeline so they can see the most recent. These are the most important or top ranked by people if we want. And then these are the categories and they can go to gameplay, new releases, hardware, software. I would say that our homepage is pretty much done. The only other thing that I forgot to show you guys was if you guys want to edit this one, you can right click and say edit the post timeline, which is the entire widget. You can go to the style tab and I don't really like how it's kind of like hazy blue. So you can change the overlay color if you want to. And so I can choose black all the way over here. And let's increase the opacity all the way to 100. So it's fully black like this. And so now it adds like a more of a clearer dark overlay over the images, which I think is pretty cool. Again, this is automatically pulling your blog posts. So if you want to change what shows up here, you might want to go and actually edit your blog posts under the post tab because that's what it's pulling. So I'm going to click on update to save my work right here. All right, so the next thing I want to show you guys how to change is how to actually change these featured images of these blog posts. And so essentially what I'm going to do is just commandeer these fake blog posts to be my own. And the way I'm going to do that is just replace the image with an actual gamer image, just as an example for you guys, so that you can see that whatever changes I make to the actual posts, so I'll open the post tab back up, whatever changes I make to my blog posts are actually going to live affect changes on my website because this is just automatically pulling it. So if I go over to my post tab, you'll see that I've got all of my fake blog posts here. And then every time I click on it, like I want to view it like this, you'll see that this image right here is the one that's popping up on my homepage. So Don't Miss the Film Festival, and it's got a picture of this. If I change this image to something different, it's also going to change this image right here, right? Because it's automatically just pulling the same image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go one by one through each one of these, and all I'm going to do is change the image, just to show you guys the difference here. So let's close out of this guy. And in order to do that, it's really easy. All we have to do is on the post tab, we're just gonna right click on edit and say open on a new tab. And one by one, I'm just gonna change the pictures all the way down the list. And I might cut this out just to make it go a little faster for the video. So you're gonna click on edit and you're gonna be allowed to edit the post and you'll be wondering, where'd the rest of the content go? Well, the content is edited inside of Elementor. So just to show you guys, if you click on edit with Elementor, each blog post is literally edited inside of Elementor, just like we edited our website, which makes it really good because you guys are going to get really familiar with Elementor when you want to actually write your own blog post. And don't worry, we're going to get to this in a little bit, but what we're not going to do is edit the blog post now. All I want to do is change that image. And you'll notice that I can't change this image inside of Elementor. And that's because it's a featured image. So we're going to go over here and click on edit. And so we're back to editing the blog post. And instead of clicking on edit with Elementor, we're going to go over here to the right-hand side and you'll see that there's a bunch of different options over here. We're going to click on featured image and you'll notice that there's the image right there. We're just going to replace it with one of ours. And so we're just going to replace all of these with random images. I'm just going to start picking and choosing and going. So now it's got this image and we'll click on update and that's it. So all we did was we clicked on edit and then we clicked on featured image, replaced it, and then clicked on update just like that. And so I'm actually going to do this off camera. I'm just going to replace each one of these images and you'll see that when we go back to Elementor and refresh the page, that the changes that we make, as you can see, are going to change on our website as well. So let me go ahead and do that off camera real quick and I'll see you guys in a second. All right, guys, I'm back and I went ahead and just changed the featured image for each one of these. That was it, nothing else. And if we go back to Elementor and now we scroll through our website, you'll see that our blog posts actually match the theme of the website, obviously, because they're gamer related. You could also change the titles if you wanted to, and obviously the blog content. But just so that you guys can see a fully customized homepage, I just wanted to show you guys with a bunch of dummy content, right? And so again, these are fake blog posts I just wanted to fill up the website with so that you guys can see what it would look like. All right, so now that we're done with the homepage, let's go ahead and edit the about page and the contact page as well, which trust me, isn't gonna take very long. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out of both of these tabs. And now that I'm back on my WordPress dashboard, I'm gonna open up my website again on a new tab. I'm gonna go to the about page, and then I'm just gonna say edit with Elementor. It's that easy. We can edit each page with Elementor if we want to. And so this is what the about page looks like. I'm gonna let you guys put in your own about information because obviously this has to be pertinent to your business, your blog, and you. So you guys will, again, all you have to do is just click right here and you can literally type on screen whatever you want, or you can type over here. So you guys know how to edit text. And then over here on the right-hand side, I would recommend just putting a picture of you, which I don't have a picture of me right now, so we're gonna pretend this is me wearing VR goggles. Close enough. He doesn't have a beard, but you guys get it. So this is my image over here on the right-hand side. This is my about text. And then down below, you'll see that it's got our team. and it's a bunch of fake names with fake emails and, you know, what they are. So founding editor, senior editor, all of this stuff. If you guys have a full team and you guys want to mention everybody, you can. You can click here and start adding people's names. So there's Kimberly P right there. So that's how you change that text. And then founding editor, that's how you change that. If you want to change these, just click on this box and you'll see that Kimberly Power or at Kimberly Power is the at. So that's probably like what, an Instagram account or something like that. And then this is the email. You just click on one of them and you can change the text. And then you can click on this one and you can change the text. It's really simple to do. And so now you've edited this and you can do the same thing all the way across. And that's if you guys actually have a team. If you don't, which I'm assuming if you're starting your own blog, maybe it is just you know what you can do is just delete the entire section like this. Oh, and then also delete this image. And so your about page is going to look really simple, but that's okay because you're just starting out. And so you've got all of your information about who you are, and then you've got your image over here on the left-hand side. Now, one thing I am going to do though, I don't like how the text is literally butting right up against this image. So what you can do is either add padding to this image. So if I go to edit this image, as you can see, I can go to the advanced tab and add some padding, or you can add padding to the column and then add right side padding, whatever you want to do. I'm going to do the image and see if it works. So we're going to say unlink the values together, and we'll add on the left-hand side, maybe 50 space, just like this. Perfect. Good enough. Click on update to save our work. And so now we've got a little bit of breathing room in between the image and the text. And we can preview our changes by clicking on the little eyeball down there next to the update button. And so this is what our about page looks like. And that's perfectly fine. Instead of closing out of this, we can now move on straight to the contact page because we're previewing our website. So we might as well click on contact, and then we can literally just click on edit with Elementor, just like this. Perfect. So now we're editing the contact page. And again, the contact page is also really simple. All you're going to do is just edit your contact information. So right here, you don't need to change this because this obviously is the contact page. Maybe the dummy text you might want to change. So say something like, if you'd like for us to have some feedback, or if you want to get in contact with us or subscribe to our email account, subscription or whatever, message us below. And so then you've got your contact form. They can put in their name, their email address, and tell you what they're looking for. But over here on the left-hand side, you might want to put in your real information. So if we click on edit right here on the icon list, looks like I accidentally dragged it. So we're going to click on edit right here. Again, it's the same thing as your about page. You can just click on this and literally just change the text right here. And then if you want to edit this one, you click on it and you can literally edit the text right here. And finally, this one, you can edit the text. You can also rearrange them if you want to. That's why they're in these little boxes. If I want registered to be on top, now you'll see registered is on top. And all it is an icon list, but we're just missing the icon. If I wanted to, I could literally put an icon in here. Let's just show you guys real quick. And so now the icon is right there, as you can see. But I'm going to click on the trash icon because the whole point is just looking like a list of text items. And so that's how you do that. You can reorder them if you want to. So I'm actually not even going to make any changes to the contact page. I just wanted to show you guys that's what you can do. We'll click on update to save all of our changes everywhere on their website, and we're good to go. So we can close out of the contact page. So now we only have a few more things to do. I'm going to open the website up on a new tab. We only have a few more things to edit. We've got the header and footer, and then we also have to link up some of our buttons. That's pretty much it. Everything else is already done. We've got a homepage, about page, and contact page all done, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and start linking these buttons together and also editing the header and the footer. But first, I want to start with the buttons on Elementor, and then we'll deal with the bread of the sandwich, which is the top and bottom. So the header up here and the footer down below. So in order to do that, let's edit the homepage in Elementor one more time. And from here, you guys remember, you know the drill. If you want to edit a button, you literally just click inside of the widget box, or you can literally right click on the button and say edit, and we just put the link right here. It's really easy to do. So if we want this read articles button to go to a link for reading articles, we would have to put a link right here. But what I'm going to do is make it a little bit easier on myself so that I don't have to create a new page and everything like that. We're just going to say, instead of read articles, let's just say read. Let's just push them straight to one of our categories. So read gameplay articles right here. And then we can add the link right here. Now, the way we're going to grab these links is we have to go back to our dashboard, and we're going to bounce between two tabs here. So we're going to go to category. And over here on the right-hand side, you'll see all of the categories on the website. Also, you're going to notice that these are already up here. You'll notice that these categories, design, film, advertising, photography, they're these categories. Design, film, photography, advertising. You'll see them right here. We're going to delete these and put in our own. So we might as well do that now. So we're going to say, check all these, bulk actions, delete, and click apply. We don't need any of those because we're not a photography blog. We're not this, we're not that. We're a gaming blog. So let's create our own. It's really simple. Over here on the left-hand side, let's just say gameplay. Now the slug is basically the equivalent of what's going to be in the URL. You literally just put the lowercase of whatever you put as the title. And so if it's gameplay, then this would be gameplay, just like this. Now if this was gameplay, something like gameplay stream, something like that with a space, then you would say gameplay dash stream in lowercase, because that's what's going to appear up here in the URL. And you'll see that in a little bit when we actually test this out. But of course, I'm going to close up or delete this and delete Steam as well. So we've created our first category. Just click on add new. There it is. Really simple, super easy to do. Let's go ahead and do that 3 more times for the other categories. So this would be new releases, just like this, add, hardware, and software, just like this. Okay, so we've got our 4 categories just like this. Let's go ahead and view the gameplay category. And so this is the page that we want it to take them to whenever they want to view the gameplay articles, right? Because it's a category. And so you'll see that this is the actual page I want them to be taken to when they're looking at reading gameplay articles, right? So I'm literally just going to copy this URL, just like this. Control or Command C. And we're going to paste it right here, Control or Command V. We'll click on update to save our work, and then let's preview the website real quick. And so anytime someone's looking at my website and they go, oh yeah, I'd like to read gameplay articles, they click on it, it's going to take them to the category. And obviously right now there's nothing in it because we haven't added any articles to it. And so anytime you create a category, for instance, if I go back to the website that we just created, anytime I create one of these, think of this as just like a bin, and I can put articles into it. So this is another bin, and I can put articles into it. And so let's go ahead and put some articles into each one of these. So I'm going to close out of both of these. We'll go back to our dashboard, and then we're going to go over to the post tab again. Open it up. So we've got Elementor open, we've got our posts open. Let's go ahead and link these posts to a category. And it's really easy to do. We don't actually have to hit edit. We can just hit quick edit right here. And it quickly lets us make some changes and update them without having to go to a new page every time. And we can go over here to categories. And I'm just going to put a couple blog posts into each category randomly. It doesn't even matter. But let's just say that this blog post is about gameplay and I want it in this category. I literally just check the box. Let's remove it from uncategorized. And then we say update. That's it. So let's go ahead and do that same thing with a few others. So I'll put this one into gameplay. And then I'll put this one into hardware. And then I'll put this one into hardware. And you guys get the idea. I forgot to uncheck uncategorize. So let me actually go back up there. And okay, so it looks like it's in there. Uncategorized, remove it. Okay. So now we're on this one. And I'll put this one into new releases and remove it from uncategorized. And you guys get the idea. Let me go ahead and do the rest of them real quick. Okay, so now I've done that. I've put each of these into a category. So now if we go over to categories, just for visual representation, each one of these has a blog post inside of it. And you can see that over here, the count. So there's 3 blog posts inside of gameplay. There's 2 inside of hardware, 3 inside of new releases. I literally just threw them in there randomly. And it looks like I accidentally forgot to uncategorize one of them. Let's go ahead and see which one that is. Okay, so it looks like it's this one, free backgrounds. Let's go ahead and change that. So we'll go over here to free backgrounds, quick edit, and there it is. Let's uncheck that. Okay, so I've moved all of these into a specific category. And so now if I go back to my website, let's go ahead and preview the changes. So now, if I want to read gameplay articles, it will take me to the gameplay section, where now I've got a list of all of these different articles that are under this category. And so if I click on one of them, it's going to open the actual blog post where I can read about a whole bunch of stuff. And then the cool thing is it's automatically going to recommend other gameplay posts, which it looks like I used the same image twice on accident. So if I go back, yeah, it looks like I used the same picture twice. That's my bad. Terrible example, but you guys get the idea. You can click on whichever post you want. And then down here, you've got the same category. So other related posts in the gameplay category are showing up down here. So now that we have all of that set up, we've got our category set up, we can literally link all of these buttons as well. Because that's all the work we had to do. We just had to create categories and then put posts into the categories. So now let's go ahead and link these up. So this is a gameplay. So we're going to click on this and we need to put our link right here. So we'll go over to categories and we need the gameplay category. So let's view it and take the URL. And we'll paste it right here. Now we need the new releases category. So let's edit it. And then we're going to use new releases right here. We'll view it. And then we're going to copy the URL. And then paste it right here. Let's do the same thing with hardware and then software. I'm going to go a little bit faster now that you guys know what I'm doing. So we're going to go over here. Let's do hardware. We're going to view it. Command C, paste it back inside of the link right here. And finally, software. Let's edit this one. Command C and Command V. All right, just like that, we're done. And we can click on update to save our work just like this. Okay, so now whenever they click on which one of these categories they want, it will take them to that specific category. Let's test it out. We're gonna preview our changes, scroll on down, and we've got our popular categories. If they wanna see gameplay, it's gonna take them to the gameplay category. If they wanna see new releases, it's gonna take them to the new releases category with a bunch of different posts. Or they might want hardware, and there's only 2 of them in there. Or maybe they want software, and it looks like there's only 2 inside of that one as well. So you guys get the idea. We just created categories, put posts into the categories, and then we just linked buttons to the categories we made. So that's pretty cool. Now these are all linked as well automatically. Like if I click on this one, don't miss the film festival right here, it's gonna take me straight to that post. So we don't have to link anything for that one, which is pretty cool. So that's that one right there. Or excuse me, that's this one right here. All of these are linked correctly to the individual post. Same thing with these. If I wanted to read this post, I can literally just click on it and it would take me to that post. But I'm inside of Elementor, so it just wants me to edit. So now that's done. We've created the categories. We've got a functioning website. All we have left is the header and the footer, okay? And the header, I'm actually gonna show you guys how to upload your own logo as well at this part. So let's go ahead and start editing this. Now we do not edit the header and the footer inside of Elementor. So we can finally close out of Elementor. We're back on our WordPress dashboard. I'm gonna refresh the page just for good measure because we haven't been here in a little while. From here, we're gonna go over to the Appearance tab and then click on Customize right here. And so this is how we can edit the header and the footer whenever we want. As you can see, we've got the header builder, we've got the footer builder. Let's go ahead and create a logo for this website first because I don't like seeing this Creative 80 room anymore. We're gonna go over here to the header builder and you'll see that we have site title and logo right here. We're gonna click on that and we can change the logo. First, we're gonna remove the old one and let's go ahead and upload our new one, but we can't do that until we actually create one. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna show you guys how to create a logo completely for free without downloading any software. It's really easy to do. We're gonna go up to a new tab and go to a website called Logo Maker, but without the E, logomaker.com. And so we're gonna click on Start My Design right here and create new design. Now I would click out of this because I'm gonna show you guys how to use it. Up here, we've got the search bar where you can search from like a trillion different graphics. I mean, they have a ton of them, right? Over here on the left-hand side, we've got things like text and basic shapes. And then over here on the right, we've got color, opacity, the saturation, and everything else. So we're gonna go up here to the top left corner, and I'm just gonna click on the abstract category and just see what they have. So we can scroll through and see a whole bunch of different icons. And so out of all of these tons and tons of different abstract logo graphics that I could use, I'm gonna choose this one right here. No particular reason, I just think it looks kind of cool. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this one right here, but what I'm gonna do is kind of add like a 3D effect. And the way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna right click on it and I'm gonna say duplicate. So now I've got a second one, and then I'm gonna duplicate it one more time. Okay, and so now this one I'm gonna click on it, and I'm gonna call this the black one. Actually, let's click on this one because it's on top. I'm gonna click on this one and call it black. So you double click, just like this, and then type out black. This one I'm gonna call red. And then this one I'm gonna call blue, just like this. And so what I can do is, this is the black one, right? So I'm gonna leave it black. I can click on this one, which is red. So let's make it red by clicking on the square over here. And then I'm gonna make this one blue by clicking on the blue section right here, and then I can choose where I want it. And then finally, what I'm gonna do is overlap the 3 so it looks like it's doing a cool 3D effect. I'm gonna move this one right here. And then I'm gonna take the red one and put it directly under it like this, so you can't see it. And then I'm gonna use my arrow keys to slightly move it over to the right, just like this. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. Let's put it directly under the black so you can't even see it. And then I'm gonna use my arrow keys to make it pop out just like that. And so it's kind of adding like this cool little 3D effect just for fun, because I wanted something techy, so I thought, why not use red and blue? So this is my logo, and so now I need to add some text. And so I'm gonna go over here to the text and click on it. And let's type something out like CAPW Tech Blog. And let's create another one that says something like this. Oh, I realize it's kind of hard to see, so let me move it. There we go. There we go. So gaming, streaming, and trending. So like all the things that we're going to show on our website. So the first one, I'm going to click on it and I can go over here and choose a different font. Just up here, we've got categories and fonts. So I'm going to use Anton for the top one and then make the text black. And then I'm just going to increase the size of it like crazy. So let's just make it a lot bigger, something like this. And we'll center it under the logo. And then I'm going to take this one and literally center it underneath it just like this. I think that looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to make the text black. Just like that. Really, really simple, but now we've got a logo. And so that's how you can make a logo completely for free online. And so speaking of free, how do you download this? Over here in the top right corner, you got the little save logo icon. And most of you guys are going to see this blue button and think, oh, I got to click here. Don't click on this one because it's going to ask if you want to pay for the high resolution file. You're going to click right here, download low resolution PNG file. And then it's going to say accept the terms of conditions, and you can download the free low resolution file right here. So we're going to download it onto my computer, and there it goes, nice and free. We can close out of that. Now I'm actually going to close out of this and make one more change. We also need a site icon. So the way we're going to do that is I'm actually going to remove the text. Oh, by the way, a site icon is this little guy right up here. It's also called a favicon. It's the little icon that appears on top of your tab. So right now ours has this little globe icon, which is like default for anytime you build a website from scratch. But we want it to have our own little custom logo. You see how it uses their logo and puts it up in the tab? That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to delete the text like this, just by kind of like highlighting it and hitting delete. So now I've got my little icon here. I might as well just turn this into an icon. So we'll go over here and click on save again, and it's going to perfectly save this as an icon, which we need anyways. So I'm going to download again, accept the terms, and put it onto my computer. And so now you can see that it's been downloaded. Okay, so after that, you don't really need this website anymore. We can go over here and close out of this one and go back to our website. When you're ready, we can go again. Let me go ahead and go back here. From the Customizer tab, which remember, we went over here to Appearance and then clicked on Customize. You're gonna go to the Header Builder, Site Title and Logo, and this is where you can select your logo. So let's go ahead and upload those from our computer, which I have these saved inside of my blog website. So here's my logo. And we're going to use the logo first, so we'll click on select, and we're going to skip cropping and just throw it up there. And just like that, our logo is on our website. That's pretty cool. You can change the size with this logo width slider right here. I can make it smaller, I can make it bigger, however I want. So I think I'm going to kind of make it this size right here. I think that looks good. Maybe a little bit bigger. Now, when you want to add a site icon, which is the favicon that's up here, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you'll see site icon down at the bottom. From here, I'm just going to click on it and then say select icon and choose this little guy. It's going to ask if you want to crop it. I'm going to say skip cropping. It even gives you an example of what it's going to look like. And so that's what it's going to look like. It's going to put our icon up there on the tab, which is pretty cool. So I said skip cropping, and just like that, we now have a custom icon that's up there on our tab, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to click on publish to save my work. You can also go back to your dashboard and hit refresh. And now it's going to show your icon. So one more level of customization, which is pretty cool. So let's click on the back button and go back into the header builder, because now what we want to do is fix our navigation menu. Because as you can see, all of those other categories disappeared. And then on top of that, we still have the podcast button, which we're not a podcast, we're a blog. So actually, instead of header builder, what we're going to do is go down to the menus tab right here. And we're going to click on the main menu, which is called, ironically, menu. So that's pretty funny. You click on it and you can title it whatever you want, and then you can put whatever you want in it. And so there's the three that are right there. They're right here. If I want to rearrange them, I can just drag it, and now podcast is in the middle. But what I'm going to do is click on it and just click on remove, because we're not doing podcast. I'm also going to call this the primary menu, just like this. Oops, I'm all caps. And that's just for me. No one's ever going to see this on your website. It's a private name, but that's what it's called. Okay. So now what we're going to do is click on add items, and it's really easy. All we have to do is go over here to categories, and the categories that we created are right here. So let's add gameplay, new releases, hardware, and software. And then we can close out of that. And then all I'm going to do is just make sure that the about and contact are at the very back, just like this. So now we've got all of our categories up on top, the about and contact page. Really easy to do. So now I'm going to click publish to save my work and back out of the menu. And so now anytime someone clicks on this button right here, it's going to take them to that gameplay page where they can see all the different posts about gameplay. Same thing with new releases. And then if you ever want to go to your homepage, you just click on the logo, and it's going to take you to your homepage. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so lastly, what we have is over here on the left-hand side, we've got a search button and a subscribe button. What I'm going to do for the subscribe button is just have it take them to the contact page. You do already have a subscribe to our newsletter form right here. but we're gonna make this go to the contact page. So in order to do that, you can click on the blue pencil icon right here, and it's gonna immediately take you to edit the button over here on the left. So we can, if you want to, what you can do is instead of subscribe, you could change this to contact us, which I think is probably more appropriate for what I'm actually gonna have it set to. And then the link is gonna take you to the contact page. So we gotta go grab that. So let's open up our website on a new tab. Again, we need the link right here. So I'm gonna click on the contact page and then literally just take this link, paste it right there and click on publish. And so now when we click on contact, it's gonna take us to the contact page. That's pretty funny. Okay, so now we can back out of this as well and we'll go back to the home page. Now the last thing we have is this search button right here, which you can click on the pencil icon, and the only thing you can do is just change the icon size. But I wanted to bring attention to it because on a blog website, if you're gonna write a bunch of different articles, and I'm talking a lot of articles, you want people to be able to search your website for a very specific one. And so the way that you do that is you actually have to add tags to your blog posts. So obviously without tags, if I just search something, here, let me go back to our website. If I just search something in the search bar, like for instance, let's go to the gameplay tab and let's search Don't Miss the Film Festival. So I'm on the home page, I'm a new customer, and I go over here and I say something like this. Obviously it's gonna pull this one up because it found the title on your website. But what if I want them to be able to search gaming, for example? It's not gonna understand what that means. And so what we want to do is add tags to our blog posts. Tags are basically like little snippets on your blog post that nobody sees, but the search bar can look for tags. It'll make a little bit more sense when I actually show you guys. So we're gonna go over here to the post tab. Let's open one up here. And then let's just pick the film festival one because that's just what I've been using this whole time. We're gonna go to quick edit and you should be able to add tags right over here and you just separate them with commas. If you don't do it in quick edit and you're actually doing it in the actual edit like this, just to show you, over here on the right hand side, you'll see tags. And again, you're still gonna enter them, separate them with a comma, right? So two different places of doing the same thing. I'm gonna add some tags here. First of all, category did I put this in? So I put this in the gameplay category, even though this has nothing to do with gaming. But let's pretend that this title says something like top gameplay moments of 2023 or something like that. Well, then my tag, let's see, I could say, well, it's in the gameplay category. So something like this. Let's actually change this. So we'll say something like that. So top gameplay moments of 2023. Obviously, I don't know how to spell. There we go. I didn't even capitalize it, but you guys get the idea. So I might want to say 2023 in here, comma, let's try something like moments, just like this, and so on. You guys can basically try and anticipate anything that someone looking for this post would search for to find that post. So if they're looking for top gameplay moments of 2023, they might be like, oh, what was that post title? It was something about 2023. Well, I've got that one right here. Or they might be like, oh, it had moments in the title. And so it's right here, right? And so all of these tags, the search bar can look for. So let's click on update to save. We'll go back here and refresh the page. See, we'll go to the search bar and let's look for moments. We click enter and searches for moments. This post is gonna come up because we have it tagged with moments as one of the tags, right? Let's try another one, gameplay. So gameplay, we searched for it and now it's going to pop up because gameplay is one of the tags, but it's also in the category. Now, if I actually search, so it doesn't look like the category popped up. So when you're searching, it's only gonna show different blog posts, but it's really important to make sure that you add tags to each one of your posts so that when people look through your entire website, they can find it. So that's what the search bar is for. So I'm not actually gonna show you guys how to edit the search bar because again, there's nothing you can really change. It's just adding tags to your posts. But that's the last thing that's in the navigation bar. Now, if we scroll on down here to the very bottom, we've got the footer, right? So let's go ahead and edit this one as well. We can go over here and click on customize in the top left corner. And it's the same thing as going to the appearance tab and clicking on customize. Okay, so from here, we're gonna go over to the footer builder and it's gonna automatically scroll you down to the bottom. It's really easy to edit this. You'll see in the bottom, we've got like a visual representation of everything. So we've got a widget, and then a centered one, and then one right down here. And so we've got these two that are centered, the copyright is at the bottom, the footer menu is this one, and the social is over here. If we click on the footer menu, you'll notice that it's gonna ask to configure the menu. You don't have to touch this because it's automatically pulling the same menu that we have up top. So if someone gets to the very bottom of the page and then decides to go to gameplay, they can. So there's no point in changing this because it automatically changes anytime you guys change these. Over here on the right hand side, we've got our socials. We can click on it over here in the bottom right corner. And you've got all of your different social icons. If you want to remove one, you can literally just click on the eyeball like this and it'll hide it. So now Twitter isn't showing. It looks like Twitter's the default value, but I can also just remove it completely by clicking on the X button. So I could hide LinkedIn or I could delete LinkedIn. And then if I wanted to add it again, I can click right here and look through their entire list. And let's add LinkedIn right there. We'll click on add. And now here it is again. And it looks like whichever one is on top, you just can't remove because you can't have a default value of nothing here, it looks like. So if I put LinkedIn on top, I bet that one's gonna now have, yep, it only has an eyeball, I can't delete it, but I can delete these. So you guys get the idea. You can reorder them by dragging it like this. And then if you wanna add the link, you just click on it and you put in your URL right here. So let's just say I want this YouTube to go to my YouTube page. Well, I would go over here on a new tab, open up my YouTube. I'd go to Create a Pro Website. I'd click on my account, and then I would literally copy this URL, and I would paste it onto my website right here. Just like that. And then I would do the same thing for my Facebook account. I'd log in, go to my homepage, paste that right here. I'd log into my Instagram, paste my URL right here. And if you guys do that for everything, then whenever someone clicks on one of these, let me show you, we'll publish, and I will open the website up on a new tab. Whenever someone clicks on it, like I added my YouTube link, now it'll take them to your YouTube page. So that's pretty cool, right? Close out of that tab. So it's really easy to edit these. You guys already know it's right here. And they also already match up with the color. When you hover over it, it goes to the blue color, the same as the website, which is pretty cool. So now down below, we've got HTML right here, which is just the text on top. And then we've got the widget, which is the WP Forms widget again. There's really no reason to change any of this. Sign up to receive email updates unless you aren't planning on doing an email subscription. If you aren't, then I would literally just delete both of these. But there's no real reason to change these two because they line up perfectly. And then finally, you've got your copyright at the bottom. You just click on it like this, and then you can literally customize your copyright right here. Whatever I type is what's going to appear on my website, as you can see. So ASDF, if I just keep typing, it's literally typing right here. So you can type out whatever you want right here. And I'm going to click on publish to save my work. And so that's how you can edit your footer as well on the website. So now I'm going to close out of this and go back to my WordPress dashboard. All right, we've finished building the blog website. Now that we have a sexy looking homepage, as well as an about page, contact page, and individual category pages. With all of that out of the way, it's time to start writing content for those blog posts. From your WordPress dashboard, we're going to go over to the left-hand side and click on posts. It's going to show you a list of all of the blog posts that you have on your website. From here, we'll go to the top of the page and click on Add New. All right, before we actually start writing a blog post, it's time to move on to part 2 of this video, which is how to write a blog post. We're gonna be covering some pretty important topics here, so make sure you keep focused. I'm literally gonna lay out for you as best as I can a short and succinct step-by-step roadmap of how to get started with your blog post. First, you're gonna wanna pick a niche or an industry, and then you're gonna wanna narrow down that niche with some extra specificity. Then you wanna start developing a calendar system on your own so that you can plan out topics that you wanna talk about in the future. Next, you want to use SEO to modify those titles to be easily found. And then finally, you want to actually write your content. So the first thing you want to do is pick a niche. And this can literally be anything you want. Obviously, it's going to be about whatever you're good at or whatever you feel like you can talk about for hours. And that's really important. When you pick a niche, you want to make sure that you either like it or you're really good at it or both in an ideal situation. I'm going to hop over to ChatGPT to give me a list of 30 niche ideas within the gaming tech sphere because that's the example of website that I already built. Wow, and just like that, there's a fantastic list of a bunch of really important and kind of interesting blog topics that I could choose. Some of these are talking about gaming, like game streaming and Let's Play videos, but then also went a different direction that I didn't think about, and it was talking about gaming addiction and mental health and self-care discussions, which is pretty cool. Now, after you pick a niche, you're gonna wanna get more specific. You don't wanna just talk about running shoes, for example. You wanna talk about running shoes that are perfect for marathon runners in cold weather. And that's just an example that I pulled off the top of my head, but you guys get what I mean. You want to take in whatever niche or topic you think is your niche, and then add an extra layer of specificity. To do this, I'm just going to have ChatGPT do most of the work for me again. It literally doesn't get much easier than this. I can't believe how impressed I am with ChatGPT. So out of the list of 30 different blogging niche ideas that I asked for, I said, hey, referring to number 13, so gaming software reviews and comparisons, I said, use this one from the previous list, which is this. And I said, give me 5 more specific ideas that I could blog about. And it literally understood exactly what I was asking for. And it gives me 5 more very specific niche ideas that I can use as either my niche for my entire blog. So instead of just being a CAPW general tech blog about just everything and anything, maybe instead I'm a gaming and software for modding blog where I do reviews and comparisons on software being used for modding games such as launchers, managers, and much more. Maybe that's the kind of blog I want to build. And so this is why using AI to decide what you want to be and how you want to do it is just a fantastic way of doing things. Now that you've got your specific niche nailed down, it's time to start coming up with topics for your blog posts. If I were you, I would set up some kind of a calendar or schedule that you can choose how often you're going to post. Make sure you come up with those topics and schedule them out in advance so you know what you're going to be writing about before you even start typing. So I'm going to hop back over to ChatGPT to ask for a list of 10 blog post titles that I could use in the gaming tech niche. And this is a great way to get some ideas. You can take a few of these and then modify them a bit for your own blog. I wouldn't recommend taking exactly what ChatGPT gives you. This is just always a great place to start in the brainstorming phase. So let's get started. And so now what I just did was I asked it to be even more specific about one of the items that it gave me, which was number 2. So it's gaming software for esports, reviews and comparisons on software used for professional esports, such as analysis tools, replay reviews, tournament organizers, blah, 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 blah. And so I said, using number 2, give me 10 blog post titles that I could use under this idea. And it did that. I've got fantastic titles that I could use to write blog posts under that very specific niche. So I've got 5 game analysis tools used by professional esports teams, a guide to using League of Legends replay tool for analyzing gameplay. I mean, some of these are just super specific, really cool titles, and I didn't have to do anything. It only took me a second to type out that prompt, and I'm getting fantastic results. Okay, so now that I have 10 titles, I can spread that out over the next 5 or 10 weeks on my calendar, depending on if I want to post twice a week or once a week or something like that. Maybe you want to start posting every day, and that's totally fine, but this is a fantastic way of developing a list where I can take all 10 of these ideas and space them out over a certain amount of time. And just like that, I have all of my topics. All I have to do now is write content for each one of these. In your efforts to develop intriguing and thought-provoking titles for your blog posts, make sure that you use SEO techniques to optimize your titles for ranking in search engines. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. I'm going to let you do your own research and watch videos that are going to help educate you further in the matter, but for now, we're going to stick to the most common type of SEO research, which is keyword research. There's other tactics and techniques that you can use in SEO, like scouting your competition to see what topics are current and popular, for example, but for now, let's just stick to keyword research. You can use services like Ahrefs and SEMrush to search for specific keywords or combos of keywords and find their difficulty ranking, among other things. If I was planning on making a blog post about the best wireless gaming mouse, for example, then maybe first I want to plug in a couple keywords into Ahrefs regarding that topic and find out what's ranking the highest. So maybe I might try searching gaming, and then I might try searching mouse, or maybe wireless mouse. Once I get my results, I'm going to incorporate those high-ranking words into my titles so that there's a higher chance of my blog post getting pulled up when someone searches for an answer. Now that you finally have your niche and a certain set of titles that you can start writing content for, it's time to actually get busy. Put pen to paper and start writing. Now, if you're a writer, then this is probably the easy part for you. But since I'm more of a web designer than a writer, I'm going to be using ChatGPT to curate a compelling blog post from scratch. This is a great starting point, and from here, we can make changes to the given text to make sure that what's written is accurate and helpful. Back in the new blog post we just created, I'm going to add a featured image. After that, I'm going to create the rest of the post inside of Elementor. All I'm going to do is copy and paste all of the content I just got from ChatGPT over to the blog post that I'm editing inside of Elementor. And then one by one, I'm just going to copy and paste each paragraph into a text editor widget, as you can see that I'm doing right now. You'll notice that all I'm using are title widgets and text editor widgets, which is basically the same thing as like writing a paragraph widget. Nothing too crazy here. As far as titles go, I just read through the paragraph and found out what it was about and then titled each paragraph accordingly. So the first paragraph is basically talking about what emulation is, so I titled it, "What is Emulation?" After that, I went ahead and added the 3 subtitles of RetroArch, MAME, I don't know if I'm saying that right, and Dolphin. And again, I read the paragraph before and realized that it was a quick intro paragraph with 3 separate points that I was about to make. So I just went ahead and made those 3 titles. From there, I just added those 3 titles and then copy pasted the paragraphs underneath. And then what I did was just reduced the size of those 3 subtitles so that it looks like they're subpoints. I did this by going to the Style tab and clicking on Typography. After I changed the size for one of them, I just copy and pasted the style setting to the other 2 titles. Then, after pasting the paragraphs, I decided to indent all 3 of them by adding a little bit of padding to the individual widget on the left-hand side. At the very end, you'll notice that I also added a block quote, which was really easy to do. All I did was separate the part that I wanted to be a quote and then highlighted it. And from there, I clicked on the toggle toolbar button and then selected block quote. Very easy to do. And just like that, I've got a complete blog post on my website, and it only took me about 5 minutes. Depending on whether or not you clicked publish earlier on, all you have to do now is click on publish or update in the bottom left corner, and it saves your work and publishes your post. Now, before we preview the post, I'm going to close out of this tab and go back to my post tab where I can add the post I just created to a category and also add some tags to it as well. Done. Let's go take a look at the blog post that we just created. Congratulations, friends. You've built your own blogging website, and now you know how to add your own blog posts as well. The last thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the next steps, which would be marketing your website and making money off of your blog. I'm not going to get too in-depth here on how to do these things because that would make this tutorial another 2 hours long. That being said, there are 2 ways of marketing your blog that I want to talk about: lead magnets and social media. Now, using lead magnets can seriously help your blog gain traction and acquire visitors. Essentially, what you have to do is offer a free digital product download, like an ebook or something like that. And then all your visitor has to fulfill in order to get this free product would be giving you their email. You essentially want to build up your email list using this free lead magnet. This way, later on down the road, you can email them about your blog. And the bigger you get your email list, the more people you can market your blog to. And this is incredibly helpful as you start to market affiliate links and different products down the road. The second way of marketing your blog would have to be using social media. I mean, it's 2023. Social media is so prevalent in today's society, it's not even funny. You can use that power to your benefit by creating accounts in TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, as well as running Google ads so that you can make content to attract free traffic to your blog website. You can even use paid advertising if you have it in your budget to market your site even further. Get this, you can even use AI tools to help you get creative with your marketing strategy and content. It's insane how powerful these tools are getting and how much time it's saving me with all of my marketing and web design work. If you really want to see how far we can take things using AI, I recommend checking out this video right here, where I build an entire website using help from AI. Everything from the structure to the content on the website. Seriously, you will not believe the results that I get. Watch this video and get some ideas of things that you can add to your website using AI. I'll see you there.